What we're going to do today is create a value scale using watercolor. Since there's no white in a watercolor palette typically, in order to lighten a color you use water. So I'm starting by making a little puddle or a pool of white over here. And I'm going to just barely tap my red and mix that light shade of red into this little pool really quickly. I know it's going to look really light, but the reason we're doing this is to understand how to create tints with watercolor. And then all I'm going to do for the next 5 shades is continuously add small amounts of red into that pool to darken the value of the red each time. The last square is our darkest color, so that's just red by itself, not too much water, as pigmented as possible. The next thing we're going to do is make a value scale of the shades of red. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a pool of red with as much red as possible because we want that color really pigmented. Okay, so after you clean your brush off, you're going to add a pool of black over here. And the reason we're doing that is because you aren't advanced yet. So once you get better at this, you can mix while you're working. But I think if we make our colors first, it'll just be a lot easier to understand. And all I'm gonna do is kind of that same technique where I'm pulling from one pool to another. But this time I'm adding black to the red. And the reason we're doing that is because if we were to add red right to black, it wouldn't really work out. We would have to add a lot of red because black is so pigmented and so intense. So I'm starting off with a little drop of black, adding it to my red pool, painting in that first square, and just like the square above, we're going to move from light to dark, meaning we're going to add more black as we move to the right. The last little rectangle on our value scale is going to be the darkest shade possible. So for the most part, you want it to be pretty much black with just a little bit of red in there. And then we're done. We're going to move on to the next color. Now that we are done with our primary colors, we're going to move on to our secondary colors. So those colors are orange, green, and purple. But instead of using them right out of the palette, I'm going to have you mix these colors yourself. So a secondary color is always made by two primary colors. So making orange is just red and yellow. I'm going to make a pool of white, a pool of water, not a pool of white. And I'm just going to do the same thing we've been doing. Slowly add pigment to the pool of water to slowly increase the value of our tint of orange.